Okay, let's be real. Have you ever felt like you're just launching your resume into a giant black hole, hoping for the best? Yeah, you're definitely not alone. Today, we're going to break down a whole new way of thinking about the job search, one that puts you back in control. Let's dive in.
I mean, it's probably the most frustrating part of looking for a job today, right? You spend all this time perfecting your resume, you write an amazing cover letter, and then you hit submit and crickets. You're left wondering, did a human being even see this? Or did some screening bot, an applicant tracking system, just toss it aside before I ever had a shot?
Well, if that sounds even remotely familiar, then you're in the right place. This is for all the military leaders making that big transition to a civilian career. For the executives out there who are quietly looking for that next great opportunity. And for any ambitious professional who knows there has to be a better way to move forward.
So first, let's really dig into the problem. Why is the old way of just applying for jobs online so, well, broken? It all comes down to what we call the job search black hole.
And this really sums it up, doesn't it? The whole process feels ancient and takes up so much of your time. Those ATS bots we talked about, their main job is to filter people out, not to find the absolute best person for the job. You have no real insight into what the company culture is actually like, and half the time, the job descriptions don't even seem to match what you can do. The bottom line, you're putting in a ton of effort for almost zero results. And that's exactly what it feels like, a flat line. You're sending application after application out into the void just to hear nothing back. It's discouraging, it's demoralizing, and honestly, it's just not effective. But what if we could completely change the game?
All right, enough about the problem. Let's talk about the solution. It's time for a totally new philosophy, something called the creative recruiting model. This is where you stop being a passive applicant just waiting by the phone, and you start being the active driver of your own career.
So, what is it exactly? Here's the most important thing to understand. The creative recruiting model is not about applying for jobs. It's a targeted networking strategy. It puts you in the driver's seat. You use powerful tools like LinkedIn to find and connect directly with the leaders and the decision makers at the companies you actually want to work for. It's a total game changer. This right here is the heart and soul of the whole thing. The solution is about people, not job portals. It's about having what we call cups of coffee, real conversations with real people. Building your network is how you discover those amazing opportunities, often before they're ever even posted online.
Okay, so the philosophy makes sense, but how does it actually work in the real world? Let's break down the practical method, which is all about putting networking first and mindless applying last.
It really comes down to these 4 steps. Step 1, you target companies you genuinely want to be a part of. We're talking quality over quantity. Step 2, you hop on LinkedIn and you identify the key leaders inside those companies. Who's the department head? Who would be your boss? Then, step 3, and this is crucial, you initiate those cups of coffee. You reach out to connect, to learn, to have a real conversation. And finally, step 4, you own the process. No more getting stuck waiting for a recruiter to call you back. You are driving this search.
Now, I know what you might be thinking. This sounds great, but does it really work? Well, let's look at the proof, because the numbers behind this model are pretty incredible. Let's just start with this one. Let it sink in. A staggering 79% of professionals find their next job through networking. Not from a job board, not from an online application, networking. This stat alone tells you exactly where you should be focusing your energy.
And how about this one? Think of all those hours you've poured into filling out tedious online applications. Following this model leads to an 88% decrease in that wasted time. That's time you get back to focus on what actually moves your career forward, having those important conversations.
And here it is. This is the most powerful number of all. For people who really commit to this method, the success rate is over 65%. Let me repeat that, over 65%. This completely transforms your job search from a game of random luck into a strategic plan with a seriously high chance of success.
So, what's the big takeaway here? What do we want you to walk away with? It's actually pretty simple. It's all about empowerment. It's about taking back control of your career path instead of letting an algorithm decide your future.
This quote just says it all, doesn't it? The whole point of this model is about taking your career back into your own hands and leading with purpose. It's about being proactive and intentional in building the career that you really, truly want.
So as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with a final thought, a little piece of homework. Forget the job boards for a minute. Just ask yourself this one question. Who is the one person you should have coffee with next? Because your next great opportunity probably starts with that single conversation.